last in hold percentage, also already dead last in break percentage. So everything after your winning rotations is just out the window. They need to figure it out.
And I think the thing is, I'm sure the watch party guys are looking at this saying, if we do win a clean kill feed from P2 to P3, let's just not sit there. Let's not be turning into statues. Let's get active. Let's try to find some motion on the map. See what we get today, as Minnesota's looking to bounce back after their 0-3 loss. And one thing I say at this point is trying to become a bit of a staple. Vegas will play well in the first rotation of hills. It comes down to what happens after that.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Initially, to start off these hard points, they're always in the game, but when the adjustments start to come on in, they don't understand what they need to do as of right now. But Minnesota keeping it scrappy so far at this P1. Get 8 seconds if you're Falcons, but the rest of the time currently looking like it's going to be running up for Minnesota.
Yeah, 2 kills, all that's going to be turned in here for early Vegas. And Gio's still just playing on this heady, and he's getting gunfights. It's in the firing range. To whom finally able to shut him down, but the time still accruing for Minnesota. An absolutely perfect start here for the Rocker.
Yeah, now if you're Vegas, you got to at least push your way through with a couple kills. We found 2 so far in the feed. Try to get aggressive, take a little bit of piano control, and chain a couple kills together to spawn them potentially all the way across the map. They do find 2, but just everybody sitting at that 50-yard line. No one too aggressive. Minnesota's still going to be here.
Yeah, Vegas maybe looking for a second wave of eliminations, not trusting they could have gotten the flip, and that is where they get punished. In that decision specifically, Wixel King in trouble. At least there's some sort of a trade there from DePaul, but starting to look a little messy here for Vegas. Wixel able to find 1 down low, but spawns will not move nor be blocked, as to whom will finally find a little bit of an entry here to P2.
And where do the spawns now come in? You have more players on this side of the map for Vegas. Just have to find a break and find it quickly. The trade is good enough onto Paul Lex, potentially for the final 25. But if you're Minnesota, you still have 2 players contesting it. The spawns are still going to be close enough. It's not going to be easy. King has to find 3. He can only take down 1. And now the remaining 15 goes in favor of Minnesota.
Yep, absolutely picture perfect for Minnesota. Remember the time back in the opening of the Major 1 qualifiers where we would look at this Minnesota team and they would be miserable in map 1 rotations? They've really started to turn against that touch. So now we head back over to this hard point where, when we have seen Vegas play this map, they have found the majority of their time. So far, so good on the opener. Wixel, a little bit caught in an awkward spot, will be dealt with by Estro, who's got an 8-3 start, and Minnesota will find an early break into V3.
And Vegas need now to work their way back on quickly. Already find 2, make it 3 kills in the feed. Successful early on the break attempt, but Estrio responds with 2 and instantly shuts that all down. Now with 30 seconds remaining, if you're Vegas, you want to start to slow down the game a little bit because you want to maintain this side of the map going over towards P4. You die here, you're all the way on the opposite side, and this is not the situation you want to be in.
Wow, unbelievable from Paul. I mean, really everyone's frying right now. Nero has had a little bit of a tough time getting things going, just 4 and 10, but everyone else really clicking right now for Minnesota. Right around a 75-point game. Rotating over to P4, though. Clean exit kills for the Falcons, and that will give them a chance to hopefully get some sort of a setup here on P4 and earn some time.
Yeah, they need this time here. You know where the pressure's going to come in. Everyone is accounted for. Just got to put players in the right positions. Already Exton opened up with a double, finds the pressure, reading through top plat. Just going unguarded as this drop down. If Gio makes a couple kills happen, they spawn all the way across the map.
Yep, Gio able to find 1 response towards Exton, not going to be fully there. Nero, oh my goodness, Nero, what is happening with him? 4 and 13, just not able to lock in, as Exton was surely at about 2 bullets worth of health, just whiffing on everything. Astral able to pick things up and put a little bit of a mix up towards the spawns in the back, but from the front, Minnesota not able to crack the code, and it's just down to Astral to do what he can.
Yeah, and Astral, at least with that one-on-one gunfight versus the Whom, secures the back spawns for his team. Still have Vegas giving them a run for their money here at P4. That might have been the best hold attempt I've seen from Vegas so far this season. You get at least 35 to 40 seconds there. You're keeping it scrappy for Minnesota to not walk away with the remaining time, and now you're going to only be down by about 30 points going into the second half of this game. You just got to make sure you make the adjustments now going forward, especially from that P1 to P2.
Yeah, I think considering how this map started off in the first 2 hills, you will absolutely take this if you're Vegas. So able to meet exactly what they needed to on P4. Now we go back over towards Hot Tub once again. This is where Minnesota just kind of posted up and were gifted a lot of gunfights. Not the same occurrence, at least to start for this particular setup, but it's a 2v4 situation that Gio and Paul win out, and with that, Minnesota back on the time.
Yeah, Minnesota back on the time, but do not currently have the spawn, so Have to be a little bit more aggressive. It's going to be narrow. Catches the timing over to Piano. Give me the freebie number 1. I'll pick up this AR. Look, it shoots pretty well as well. Give me number 2. And now you already have 3 players from Vegas spawning all the way across the map. This is what we talk about with Vegas's game, is that they feel like, okay, we know that we want this side of the map for P2. We want to try to dominate, but they are just not getting the kills on this side of the map, and also applying the pressure on the hard point. You gave up a lot of time there. You just got to make these kills count, and thankfully they were able to do so.
Yeah, I think the thing that we've said a couple of times now about this Vegas team is their ideas are right, but it's either the speed or the level of coordination that comes with the motion that they were trying to put across the map is either not there, or I think more particularly, it comes down to 1 or 2 gunfights that you have to win, and Vegas just are not finding those wins when they matter most. And that kind of occurs here once again as the spawns were blocked for a moment, but Minnesota have gained control, and now they're again just tallying up the score.
Minnesota just going to continue to run up the score. They have all the info. 4 players pushes to Kitchen, already a clean 4 dead and a 100-point lead. Let's go step aside and listen to the comms with Minnesota.
There's 2 kids.
There's rotating. There's
3 kids.
Nothing tops.
Yo, I guarantee this one v1.
Yeah. Exit. A bullet. New exit. Close. I'm gonna flank stone.
Close to you. Absolute. There's that time.
I got 80. Close our bar like I think.
You right now. Out of table.
Okay, close to you.
Out of table. You and stone. Yo, push him inner left.
Sure.
One more. Same spot.
Shot you know?
Oh, he's gone my right. I'm gonna bullet.
I'm up.
I got wall bang. There's 2
I'm
there.
playing top. I'm playing top.
Line is that weak.
I'm 2 up. 2 behind the table. 1 behind the bed.
That's one next to them.
Nice.
They're on the bar. We get spotted behind the bar. We get 1 shot on the bar.
They're gonna spawn on the bed.
Yeah, it's on the bed.
Yeah,
bottom bed. 2-2 I think. Wait till we bottom bed. Nice. I'll take it. I got your left. Nice. I got right. It's fun timing.
I need Ben.
It could be you. Back right stone. I need your left side.
I'm hitting it right.
I'm trying to get on the wall. You're bottom bed. I'm too close.
Do 1 shot. I'm 1 shot. I'll have it right.
I'm right. Weak right. I got right.
I'm dead. 2 of them.
How you penetrate middle? Close middle. I'm gonna die. 3 there, I think. 3 there. We can go top.
I'm going home. We are.
I'm going top with you. I'll get child right.
Go top. Shot this.
I think he did. I spawned deep.
Gem. Yep.
Then stone. I'm 1 shot. Can't shot.
He's dead.
Right side.
Yeah,
We can fuck Doom.
Top stone.
I got wall man. He's behind the table weak though.
You was stone stairs on you probably.
Yeah.
Probably life top for us.
Okay.
We're coming top. We just bully top.
Yeah, we should.
I don't see him back here. Top left. Kings.
Top left 1 shot. Top left 1 shot. Run away.
Back stone, Doom. You challenge it?
No.
Sure.
Not that I see.
Yeah,
I
okay.
got fold.
I need the right here.
I need him.
I'm hitting stone.
Sure.
I got fun.
I'm here.
I'm
Shot
trying
close.
Check umbrella. What's up close?
Actually,
Doom.
Check umbrella. Dead.
Dead.
We're gonna flip. We're gonna. That's good shit.
Fall
back right. Lay down on the couch. King.
I'm hitting top quick.
Same.
Top closet. Top quick. Top weak for you. Weak exit.
Center closet.
It might be 2.
I want to stop. We'll get it left.
Nice. There's 2 more.
Yeah, 3 top.
Yeah, it's just another one of those moments, Jay. You can kind of hear it. Minnesota rotating to P2 to P3. They're saying, oh, but they've already rotated. Like, it's just, it almost feels like they're playing the game very one-dimensionally. Of like, we know we have to play for P3 next, so like, let's just all go there. Or like this particular setup, it's just so passive. They don't get a read on where Minnesota are coming from, and you can see the result of that.
Yeah, they're playing 3 players towards the bottom side of the bedroom, only relying on 1 person to watch multiple different angles on that back side. If he dies, he spawns all the way across the map, and now you're pitched from the front and the back end.
Yeah.
Just mistakes again from Vegas. Unfortunately, it's going to lead to another L in Hardpoint. Only need 3 points if you are Rocker. King is able to find a double to prolong this map a little bit longer, but Minnesota just taking care of business on map 1.
Yeah, absolutely the case. 3 more seconds required. Vegas holding on, trying to make the score a bit more respectable here, but Estriol is still just finding these individual gunfights. Team nade, I don't know how that one comes over from Nero, but it does lead to an opportunity for King to stay alive inside the hard point. Spawns will move though. Geo setting themselves up for new, and with 3 down, now it's just down to finding the last guy inside the hill. Nero will step in, find the final seconds, and it'll be a very comfortable 100-point win for Minnesota in their opening hard point.
Wasn't as comfortable. If you're Minnesota, you want to do a little bit better of a job there at P4, because that's how Vegas were able to keep themselves sort of into this game. Majority of their points came off of that P3 to P4 rotation. But if you are Minnesota, it's good that you add that Skyline W to the cards. Now, they were 2-6 before going into this map. Now make it 3-6. Probably have a couple things that you want to continue to fix moving forward. But on the side of Vegas, we saw it before we even jumped into the listening. It's that P1 to P2 chain. You see the way that they're initially trying to break it, Alan. How you have 1 person going piano, 1 person goes top hallway, 1 person goes kitchen. The last guy's already off the respawn. They're all individually trying to make a play. But then when that gets shut down, now their second attempt was for 4 hitting kitchen. but that's an easy read. You have one person posted up towards the back. He's like, okay, there's a lot of pressure. There's no one over towards piano. Everyone focused to right. And then that leads to a clean forward dash. That is where Vegas needs to improve their game, is to make those adjustments and give themselves opportunities, not from just one single angle. Because Skyline can tend to be mixy at some points, but no one was hitting zip. No one was trying to catch timings, or at least your teammates pushing off the left side, and then eventually you work the right. It's just right now they have game plan number one, and if game plan number one doesn't work, we're chalking it and rotating new.
That's a really good shout. I think that's exactly what we've seen without question. I think the other side of this is like, you know, for Minnesota, and I think Ann hit this on the deck really nicely, where you're talking about the simple fact that they are seemingly kind of force-feeding Skyline Hardpoint into the map series set. And that may lead to, again, just them trying to improve in certain ways. But on the other side of things here, you know, for Vegas, they've played this map in almost every single series, and it just continues to not get better, it feels like. So it's tough to see without question, but we'll kind of see what happens as the series moves on as we look towards the Vault Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and the Vault Search and Destroy is, I guess you could say, a decent map here for Vegas, because they do have a win, and it is versus Optic Texas. You won it in a 6-4 fashion, found multiple first bloods, were able to find a lot of success in your post plans. But now you're playing against Minnesota Rocker, who have infamously been one of the best search and destroy teams that we have in the game. And also, this is one of their stronger S&D maps. So this is a tall battle. I mean, a tall ladder to climb here if you are Vegas.
Word. All right, well, see how things unfold as we continue forward here. And at least for Vegas, I don't know, let's spit some silver linings here. 4-8 search and destroy, so maybe there's something to be told about how they can make something happen here, but they've only played Vault twice, so it's a round 10 winner that they had versus Optic, and then there was a round 11 loss to Carolina in Madrid. So some, I think, reps needed here for Vegas. Where on the other side, you look at Minnesota, this has been by far one of their best search and destroys. This and Hacienda have been kind of two staples for them.
Oh yeah, without question, man. And they just have so many different strategies that they can throw at you on a map like Vault, where you're thinking, okay, you're probably most likely going to instantly work that A-bomb site. But they have different ways of doing that. They also have strategies where they're slowly working over towards B, taking space inside that A side, and then dominating over towards Vault. But the biggest thing that I love about Minnesota on Vault S&D is their retakes. Yeah. Even though they don't really give a lot of opportunities for that bomb to get planted, it's due to the fact that the way that they play. They love to apply that pressure over towards poolside. Isolate the guy that's watching that overextension, but then also catch the timing on the drop down to pool, and that's usually where Nero finds a lot of success. So if you are going to be Vegas and trying to prepare yourself for what Minnesota are going to throw at you, you might have to slow the game down pretty early into this.
Yeah, and I think the other part about this now for Vegas is, do they have a deeper playbook when it comes down to their search? Because I think the thing that we started to notice about these guys was that constructively on maps like Skyline, for instance, it was very, this is what our plan is, and we're going to keep trying to rock small variations of like an A hit, for instance, which very well may be the case on a map like Vault as well. But I'm just kind of curious to see how much they've been able to work on this Vault since the major in particular, because like we mentioned, they've only played it twice. So definitely feels like it has not been a stapled part of their map pool by any stretch of the imagination. It's been, like we said, a lot of Skyline that we've seen out of these guys. And well, I guess at the beginning of the season, we saw quite a bit of protocol from them, where it was just, again, take the simplest bomb site, flood it, plant it, hope our post plant hangs in.
Yeah, I think it's just, if you're Vegas, like just looking at what other teams are doing, like we already seen it a lot throughout this major qualifiers with nade spots starting to hit. We've seen it on protocol control with the new B point. We've seen it on the jump out towards the top side of balcony, instantly trying to work your way in towards A. So if you have that in your back pocket to open up with the first flood, you're going to give yourself a good chance of securing some of these rounds. You just got to be able to just shutting down, not allowing players to get lost. Because if you put an arrow on your base, yeah, you're not going to have a fun time.
Yep. Let's see what happens here. It will be Vegas on the offense first. Nades towards the backside of Pool will not necessarily connect, but Nero Paul able to open things up. Follow-up from King is good, but the trade is already through. Nero just goes completely undiscovered, to whom backside P2 will be overwhelmed, and now it's just down to Xdid. He was the one who had planted, and he had gotten a little worse for wear playing down low on the site. Coming back to it.
Wait a minute.
He didn't check the bomb.
Okay, yeah, X did, good try on a 1v3. Definitely want to, you know, check that bomb, make sure no one's defusing in that situation. But you could already see Minnesota with their adjustments on defense. The aggression, setting the tone early on. You know what Vegas love to do, and that's instantly work that bomb plan in towards A. So when you find that first blood, effective on the trade, isolate the player over towards pool, and then at the same time, Nero gets the info on the bomb planner. Just made it a lot easier to just someone stick to the defuse and secure the round.
Yep. Okay. SMG's finding success early for Minnesota, really pushing the tempo. Are they going to keep that tempo up on the offensive side? Looks like they want to. Paul and Gio going to take their efforts towards the outside of Palms, while Nero will just dive right into the site. Throws a couple of shoulders early after being hit enough by nades. Damage good from the first. Whoa! What is that from Nero? A heck of a transfer over. Gets the trade plus an extra. We're going to 2v2 post plant.
Yeah, Nero most likely is not going to leave this site. He's going to be the guy to hold it down. And hoping that Gio can catch an angle on this pinch. But Vegas, they're going to retake from pool, and they have the numbers to work their way to isolate Nero.
Oh, Gio's seen one slide across, though. Yep, that will confirm it. Shots will have Dahoom down. Semtex over the top. Follow-up from Wixel, though. Good isolation. Nero now should surely know that there's going to be a play largely from poolside. Steps away, and as he does, Wixel finds him mid-map. Plenty of time for the defuse, and we'll go 1-1.
Oh, fantastic plays right there on the retake. If you're Vegas, obviously take control of pool, gain info early on, isolate onto Gio, and then you know that Nero was the bomb planner. You make sure you attack it from a different angle. Don't want to allow him to get on out and potentially catch an angle from pool flank. But Wixel plays it perfect. Able to catch the timing. Finds also 3 on the round for Vegas to take the round.
Heck of an effort, though, from Nero. Now we'll start to find out how dynamic is this offensive playbook going to be for Vegas. Similar break off, but it is just going to be exited this time, playing over into the bomb site. Tagged by nades, but still commits for the plant. More help from Vegas on this post plant through mid-map this time.
And how do Minnesota decide to retake this? You have Estriel trying to play Fanfo over towards pool. At least is able to spot Dahumba down. But look at the aggressive play coming in on the opposite side from Exit. He takes down Estriel, makes it a 2v2.
Yeah, and the post plant will move, but Exnit has been seen. You have to chase down this elimination, and they will. So now it's just down to 1. It's Wixel. Oh, and his timing here could be incredible. Up and over. Checks. No one's on for the defuse. Gio thinking about it. Shots from Wixel coming through. Oh, he's running out of ammunition! No! All he had to do was kill off a couple extra seconds. Didn't even need to take the shots versus Gio if he didn't want to. He saw no one was on for the defuse.
Maybe a little trigger discipline right there. Allen could have secured him that round. As we take a look at it again, there's only 12 seconds remaining on the game clock. Obviously, you spot Gio in towards the site, but he's still not defusing. But then the shot's just not able to connect. Allows Minnesota to just slide on out, double chow, and catch him with his pants down. Rocker, so far, take back-to-back defenses. Vegas respond with defenses of their own. Who's going to walk away with the first attack?
Similar break off here for Minnesota. Paul going to try to assist by jumping up and over, but look at this route from Exnit. Timing could be exquisite for him. But Nero's found first blood. That's going to turn Exnit's attention back over towards top halls, which he at least finds the trade confirmed. Wixel also winning towards Palms leads us to a 2v3 post plant.
Oh, it's a big kill to take down Gio over towards poolside. Because now, you know, the last 2 players are most likely trapped in towards the bomb. Don't have any tacks in the back pocket for Dahoom and Wixel, so they're just going to have to slide in with ARs.
Oh, nice little deep shoulder coming through. Oh! Whoa! No way! He gets the 1 through the drop, and then all of a sudden, spins, slides, finds both remaining Falcons stacked on top of each other, and Estriel's going to pull off a 1v3 for the ages.
Yeah, that just can't happen right there, Alan. Like, 1v3, obviously we are approaching it from both ends of the site, but we line up right there for Estriel to make that double kill at the very end a lot easier. They were just thinking, okay, it's 3 of us, 1 of him, we're going to be able to get this trade, but Estriel just plays it to perfection, isolates the player dropping down through mid-vault, and then just lining up the next 2, secures around there for Minnesota. They are now starting to pull away in this search and destroy. Falcon said, all right, enough of this. Everybody playing isolated. Let's force that inside.
Yeah. Plant is not set up, though, for the post plant towards the vault stairs, but this double stack will at least allow the isolation onto 2. So now you've got a 4v2 situation. Nero up and in. First shots are good. Can't turn it into a second. King still in the corner, leaving Paul now by himself, working for his opportunity for a 1v3. But with an AR, this is going to be a very tough code to crack. Or is it? He already slides on in, and wow, the shots were clean, but the SMG is just too good up close.
Yeah, I love the adjustments right there from Vegas to not really rely on these one-on-one plays. That's just 4 hits something, and it works out. They find 2 players trying to approach the backside at that B site. Turn it instantly into a 4v2. Even though it does get scary once it turns into a 2-on-1, and then he catches the time to work his way in towards the bomb, but effective with the shots. Able to lead to a round victory for Vegas.
Have to keep composure here for Vegas after a couple of missed opportunities at this point, especially from the defensive side. Wixel's on 7. Top KD in the lobby for the moment. Nades up and over. Largely not going to hit here. Now there's a trophy system down for Escher to work with. Oh, look at this little drop down over through hole. It's read perfectly by Minnesota. It's just the timing of that play did not fully come through. And now Dahum's by himself, 1v3.
Yeah, he shot a spot if anyone's going to exit towards the site. Obviously, he looks at both angles. But he has a lot in front of him. Arrow just throwing shoulders, gaining the F over towards pool. Everyone is now just going to turn around.
Yep. Yeah, Nero's just going to keep on this little dance, sliding back and forth. Yeah, both players inside the site. Yeah, just going to force the issue. No worries there. And Paul's just chuckling about it. Minnesota having a little bit of fun with it, but score's still pretty tight, all things told, considering the nature of how some of these rounds have ended.
Yeah, 4-2 difference. Minnesota obviously feel comfortable with the way that they're currently playing. Some adjustments potentially need to come in on their attacking side. But they already showed it there, where they just full-on sent every player in towards the side. That's what we saw them do at the Major when they were down 5-1 in their series. On this match specifically, they just said, all right, none of our strategies are working. Let's just 4-hit the bomb. And that works out because Vegas was just late to the party. We just sent 3 people to drop in towards Volt. Already 10 seconds into the round, completely blind with no info. Yeah, easy couple of kills there for Rocker and an easy round.
Similar setup this time, although this time Minnesota's defense got a hard play through Vault stairs. And now they're all here. It's all nades off and in. Finding damage on both sides, but Minnesota have stopped the plant for now. RCXD also being committed here. Drops on into whom's going to be weak by that, and now the SMGs can just fly on forward. 2-for-1 the exchange. Wixel trying to set up a pinch, not going to get there, and Minnesota take a quick round.
Yeah, they were just ready. They said, all right, you caught us off guard with that 4-play push through that A side last go around, but this time we're going to send every single player through there. And even if we gain that info that you're going to be on this side, let's invest the RC to back you down from the setup and also now allow you to instantly work that bomb plant. As we take a look at the replay again, the RC car is wall running. Whom gets caught in a corner, and then everything else after that is just trade, trade, trade. Minnesota, game point.
Yep. You got to be thinking, let's just run it down their throats here. A little bit more pressure here for Vegas. Again, early through the middle of the map. This time it will not be followed up by that drop down we saw from the last defensive attempt. And with another trophy system ready, Minnesota will get to work on a 4v4 post plant.
How do Vegas decide to retake this? How much time are they going to waste trying to think that someone is over towards poolside, has to be watching this pitch? They have cleared out a lot of that space. They should gain the info now, so they're probably stacked in towards side again.
Yeah, trophy system denying the opening utility, all of it. Nothing is getting through. Trophy finally fades away. Is there anything left here for Vegas to use to try to dive on in? Opening shots. Will be least allow a trade. Nero not able to get this follow-up, leaving Geo by himself, but last 2 players are weak, and Geo comes through, finds the final 2, no worries. And Minnesota don't let off the gas. Quickly 2-0 up.
Yeah, it's a clean search right there for Minnesota. Obviously, they need to make a couple of adjustments early on into the game, especially on their attacking rounds. They said, okay, they just keep on picking us apart over on the outskirts by pool, so let's just start stacking in towards the site. And that was their go-to recipe basically for the last 4 rounds, 5 rounds straight. They did it every single time on their defense, just dropping down through mid-vault, not allowing Vegas to contest it on the later half of the game, and then Same thing for the offense. Just send your SMGs. Let's start these fights. Hopefully we're able to come out on top. They dominate in the first blood category 6-2.
Yep.
That is the final score for them to be up 2-0.
Yep. To whom not able to get anything going in the search. Not for lack of trying. His damage is right there. Everybody else just couldn't finish off elimination. So with that, we have a 250, 150, a 6-2, and now a Hacienda control coming up next after our short intermission here. Where Minnesota, I mean, I think this is a series we needed to see them come out in 3-0. Simply put, I think the way that I look at this team is they play almost to the level of their opponent at times, where they're upsetting some of the top dogs. They're playing a lot of them tight, but they also have like some losses that you go, well, what happened to the other team that we saw from the other day? Not today. Looking pretty clean for it as we head back to the desk on their way to a possible 3-0.
We were worried about the 3 o'clock slot. Nero, little sluggish in that first hard point.
I'm telling you, bro, when we interview Nero, I'm going to ask him what time he goes to bed at night. Because when they play at 3, he comes out slow as hell, man. Lock in.
Allie, the good news is he locked in for game 2. He drops double digits, the only player in the lobby to do so in S&D, and he does it in just 8 rounds. Talk to me about the difference on Vault, because this was a one-sided affair.
I don't know if it was so much the difference other than maybe that map 1 got him warmed up, because, I mean, this was a textbook Vault for me when it comes to the side of Minnesota Rocker. I think Jay explained perfectly. I mean, they were just sending 2 guys bottom Vault, whether it was defense or offense. They were ready for that push, and, I mean, they were just allowing the plant constantly on the side of Falcons. And Minnesota Rocker, you want to give it to them. I mean, they've got one of the best SMG duos sitting right now, so they're going to take advantage of it.
I'm going to give you guys some dive analysis here.
Hit me.
Vegas is legit. Like, I mean, this map's a square up, right? They're getting just pieced, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be like, I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, all right, they're bottom ball. How are we gonna approach this? We're gonna send 2, bait and switch and try to execute this kill. They're literally lining up for Estrio. You're seeing pieces left and right, like guys not checking the corners, not even going for the trade. This map was an absolute disaster on the side of the Vegas Falcons in Search and Destroy, which has been their best game mode all year long. So it seems like things in the camp are getting a little bit worse with the criticism, with the stress of not finding victories. It looks like they're falling apart, to be honest.
And of course, in Skyline, you saw a 100-point difference. You saw a little bit of a late rally from the Falcons, but Minnesota controlling. Why? Well, you got Gio on the team. It's just got to play the game. The man drops a 1.9 with 2 minutes of hill time, Allie. He's patting the stats.
My God, Gio is so good. My favorite thing about Gio is he's such like kind of like an underdog story of like nobody was really talking about Gio, I feel like, until like this year, until we've seen like kind of what he's done to this Minnesota Rocker roster. He's added like this level of consistency that I feel like a lot of these players haven't had. Like when we interview Paul, you know, he talked about, you know, usually at the beginning of the game I start off a little bit slow. When we saw Nero and Boston Breach, I felt like he was a really inconsistent SMG, and I feel like it might be on Gio.
He is the most underrated player in the league, and he like low-key has been since last year on the Vegas team. Like he's been phenomenal. Gio is a beast, consistent, and he can take over games.
I'm going to tell Estriel you said that. Let's take a look here at our next game. It's called Hidden Heroes. And if you're watching for the first time, I'm going to give you 3 facts. And of course, 4 silhouettes. You have to tell me who these players are. Now, big hint before you start, Nameless, none of these players are simp. Second big hint, these are all mid-season pickups.
Okay, I'm going to go top left, Wixel.
I think it's who?
A 1.26, it's done.
Overall point is too low.
All right, fair enough.
All right, Rally Cat, you're
I
up.
suck at this.
Bottom right is Hook, I think. Oh my
A
God.
.96?
Wait, hold on, just to be fair.
After seeing a 14 kill
you guys saw this in the rehearsal.
Stage
I
one?
didn't.
I didn't see this.
Show me a Hook.
Right.
In the top right. I was there sitting on the couch when she saw the graphic.
I did not see
Let's
it.
take
Hold on,
a
I swear
look.
I did not see it.
In the top right, first match was in stage 2. Overall, it's a 1.01.
Lunars.
It's got to be King, right?
That's Lunars.
Lunars, you
Top
think?
right, yeah.
Is S&D a point? It's Lunars.
Oh,
And bottom
nice.
left is
Good
Neptune.
shout.
Neptune? Is it Neptune?
Only a .96?
I'm missed.
A
good job.
1.17. Nameless gets 2 of the 4. Allie gets Hook. I missed. Let's move on. Game 3's loading up right now. Is it a hot 3-0 study? If so, is it a 3-0 within a 3-0?
Yeah, it's a 3-0, Alan. It might be a 3-0. I mean, Pucky, I'm sorry, Chris. I was just using.
can tell me too, it's fine.
It's 3-0. It's 3-0. I'm telling you. It's most likely it'll be a 3-0 because Vegas just don't really play a lot of Hasi. They're struggling in control. They don't have 2 wins on Vault. Everything else besides Vault hasn't really treated them well. And then the opposite side for Minnesota, you throw this in versus a team who don't really find a loss. It's just to test it. So they're going to be playing it for the very first time, but just the way that they're playing, their teamwork right now is on point. This is going to be a tall task for Vegas to even think about forcing a map 4.
I think, you know, again, zooming out away from this particular series, I do like the idea here that Minnesota is not just out here playing for wins. They're playing out here to build on their map pool. And again, it's easy, I think, to do that when you're playing up against the bottom teams in the league, but we've seen them do that across really this entire stage to this point. So I really love that idea from them. Try to get this as a chance to build yourself up for not just the minor coming next week, but when you eventually get to Dallas, because I think there's a level of, you know, our top, well, we'll say top 4 teams right now, currently by the standings, you know, those are all championship caliber teams. I think there's still a level, and I think we talked about this maybe last week, where it's just like, there's something about this Minnesota team of where is their ceiling. It feels like it's a little bit lower than, you know, your super teams that are out there, your big dogs that are out there. But the way you combat against that narrative is by building out your map pool and finding ways to counter those teams deeper in towards tournaments if you continue to find success. So I love that they're trying to throw something new into the mix, and we're gonna get our first look here to see how Rocker handled this Hossie out of control.
Yeah, if you're asking if Rocker can slay with the best of them, yeah, you best believe the SMGs are about to cause mayhem in their face when they get their opportunities. But already to start out this game, Vegas know that the push is most likely to be over towards this B point. They find the initial 2 kills, but it's 3 for 2 in favor of Rocker. Still gives them a lot of map control to work with.
Estriel just diving, trying to dodge, and teammate over the top, lands on the Dahoom's head. That's going to be a second tick of progress likely done, as long as Estriel doesn't forfeit his life here. And yeah, he's going to step up a little bit further in towards 10. Nero working with him top office as here comes Paul to try to get back onto the zone. Nero up and over. Trades are decent. Third tick of progress being worked on. Help is on the way from Geo, but Paul doesn't really need the help. Still got it anyways. And we got 2:12 on the clock.
2:12 on the clock, and they also take care of Exnid, who was trying to play for a couple spawners. Already found himself off the rotation over towards this 8 point. Not a single play from Vegas currently in the position to take him down. But this is a scary situation to be in, because already Estriel finding 1 kill, they find another 2, and they're instantly going to start stacking.
Yep. First tick done, second on the way. Paul pushing the issue, finding himself his 3rd elimination. Nero picking up the pinch, catches Wixel on sprint. And it's just one of those moments here where Vegas need to get together, but it's another solo shell coming through. I mean, we've talked about this a couple of different times where it's just one by one they drop in, and one by one they will fall. A very quick offense for Minnesota.
Yeah, realistically, that only took about 26 seconds because they instantly jumped their way onto the B point. They lost the initial 2 gunfights, but then the last player standing was able to secure that final segment. His teammates off the respawn, get aggressive over through rock, keep them trapped in their base. And just make that round look very, very easy. And that's not how Hossie plays, I promise you. Like, you usually want to send, especially if you're the team on defense, your best bet, especially as an SMG player, is to just get pushed out to their side. Like, you don't have to be aggressive in certain situations. You can count how many players are coming off the respawn, but you just have to be in positions to where you can contest as soon as they jump on these points. Make it more difficult for them to find you. Not as easy as it was in that round 1.
Yeah, just, again, coordination things coming to fruition, as Vegas will have Exton just dive right on over into the A zone. Objective focus, to be sure. AR is trying to watch the high ground, but again, it's just, those are the moments where it's like these 1v1s that just don't fully come through lead to these 2v3s that Minnesota just keep cleaning up on. And another one of those moments where you look at and say, it's just tough, man. Like Ant said, they're just getting beat.
Yeah, it just hasn't been close so far in this series. They're just simply getting outclassed. Right now, with a minute left to work with, though. Still trying to work for a couple segments. Almost have that first one done at A. An unfortunate team kill on the cards for Dahoom. But look at how trapped they are in their spawn.
Oh, no.
You're getting taken? Oh,
Nero!
we're getting taken. Oh.
This is, no, we can't be doing this. And he's looking for kills. Oh, mercy me. Not like this. Not like this, Jay.
Yeah, that's the second time I think we've seen that. We saw Hydra do it a couple weeks ago, and now Nero follows him up on it. Just having fun in this match so far. 25 seconds left to fight for. And if you are Vegas, this is where your last push is going to be here. Over towards, well, you have to get on B.
And there's just not a route. Geo's holding the front door. Vegas off spawn, looking to try to find something over towards A. Exit finding the first. Wixel try to clear things out on the high ground, and there should be a chance to dive on into the point, but there's still a mystery of where are the rest of the Minnesota defenders.
They have no idea. Like, if you're Wixel, you have no idea what you're supposed to look at when you jump on that A point. So many different angles that they can take you down from. Now leads to a 3 dead, exited at 2 and 9. Last player on the B point. You need some miracle. Unfortunately, he is going to get taken down, and that is going to be the round. Minnesota Rocker, I don't really know if they're good at the map right now or if they're just playing against Vegas, but you got to be feeling good that you're up 2-0 the way that you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could take a look at how they're playing the map from like the mini-map's perspective, and they are making good reads, good plays. I mean, yeah, there is a level of they're also winning some egregious gunfights and taking people hostage and things like that. Like, there is a level of that, but I will say I think there is something to be told about this Minnesota team. First time on the map, looking pretty solid for it, and here is how, well, here's how Dahum was taken hostage, and he's like, help me, please help. Just spamming the square button. But yeah, I do have to say, I think the way Minnesota have played their first offense and how they've been able to kind of understand their advantages on defense have looked good.
Now they have an opportunity to close it out on this attack. A whole lot of pressure again over towards B. They're trying to change the narrative and at least turn the gunfights initially in their favor. Gio just rips one onto the Exnid. Progression being paused. Wixel and Dahum, though, they find 2, so they're able to instantly shut down this play.
Yeah. 12 and 3 for Estro. He is having a field day. Here in the control, tough gunfight there over the top of the rock wall, not going to work out. Gio also denied by King, so here we go. Vegas, just a 4-for-1 in the opener. Still tallying more eliminations behind this. Nero trying to give a little bit of a workout over to Exit's direction, but that'll be enough at least for the kills to continue to go the way of Vegas.
All right, they've only died 1 so far, so they're keeping up with the lane. They shut down that initial push, and now you have Minnesota trapped in the back of their spawn. The ideal setup that you want to be in, but you're not going to be able to read that route there from Gio. Lines up the freebie onto King. Boom, effective on the trade, and with 35 seconds left, Minnesota, no, we got to get on B. We got to try to extend this game clock.
Yep. Chance for it. Nice shots from Estriel up top towards the patio. Nero going to be freed up to try to hunt that one down. Not able to tally,
Alan, look,
and will just make his way up towards office.
Look at the minimap, Alan. You see Exit right now?
Yeah, he is in P2. I was about to say the same thing. It's like, are we going for this or not?
Eventually, we got to get ourselves back into the play because your teammates are just going to be overwhelmed on the complete opposite side of the map. Finally, he gets himself back in, but it's a 3-for-1 trade. Second segment already secured. And now time is going to be extended. Now you got to be able to work your way and know that there's a lot of players coming off the respawn. How do we set up for these easy kills?
Yeah, Estriel will be shut down on the exit. Nero back up top office once again. Has a freebie. Nero again.
No way.
Oh, tried for it. Not able to grab it, but Lifely down to just a single one. Exit trying to follow up the play through top fire hall, but time is ticking away here, and it looks like Minnesota are still trying to feed for kills.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Gio's just hoping that he can put a couple more players in the back of their spawn off the respawn. But as they try to do that, they all get cut down. So a clean 3 dead. Now leaves Nero, last player here to contest. Has an AR in hand, not the preferred weapon for that kind of gunfight. But 50 seconds still to go. Vegas up 4 lives.
Nice challenge there from Wixel. Little stun chow for him, able to isolate. Estriel trying to hunt down Wixel, but he's out of there. 35 seconds on the clock, 16 playing 10. Vegas have reestablished some good defense here, and they've moved across the map as well. But this is where the problem comes. Can you start to win these 1v1s and really put this round out of question?
20 seconds to go. Just 1 wave of kills is all you are looking for if you are Vegas, but 2 go in favor of Rocker.
Oh, no.
Make it 3 in favor of Rocker. Everyone spawning over towards 10. The double stack is good enough for the first second to be locked. Vegas gotta go.
Good send text from Gio, kills off more time. Second tick progress already on the way. Shots from Gio, good. Not able to get the transfer though. Exit with the trade. Third tick on the way. Exit has to pop up over to the windowsill. Still on the point is Nero. Shots are good for the kill. The double stack is in. Oh, it's a 3-0. What else can you say?
There is truly nothing to say, Alan. Just another day in the office if you are Minnesota, and another day in the office if you are Vegas Falcons. Just another L that you got to hold to the chinny chin chin. This one was a little bit more disrespectful though, because you play maps that you usually find yourself playing a lot. Minnesota don't really like to play Skyline, but they play Skyline versus you. Vault S&D, you at least have a couple reps on it. You're feeling good, but it's also a really good map for Minnesota. And then when you get to the Hossie, they play for the very first time, and you got people getting assassinated, taken from behind, and it's just not good. But it's just like the way that Vegas play Control, Alan, sort of like the way that they play Hardpoint. They're just relying on individuals to make a play. And then when the other players on the team are supposed to help them, sort of, because with X did the way that he was over towards P2 at Garage, you eventually know that all the pressure's coming from well.